Good win for us. When they had their whole team healthy, I thought they had a chance to be a real good basketball team. Obviously, they're undermanned at the guard spot right now. They don't have enough. And I think as the game went on, his guards just kind of wore down. Number 4, I'm forgetting their names, number 14 and number 1. Number 1, we made some mistakes in the first half, made some threes, but then, his jump shot really didn't go down the second half. And then number 14 just, it's hard. It's hard to have to do that the whole game. But when he gets his guys back, I think Coastal's got a chance to be real good. It's, they offensive rebound. First of all, we're a soft basketball team. We don't rebound and we don't make competitive plays when the ball is, what's the word I'm looking for, in the balance. It's not their possession and our possession. It's just there. People like to call them 50-50. What's a 50-50? No one has the ball. Go get it. It's yours. It's not 50-50. It needs to be 100-0. But, we're when it comes to that, we're a soft team right now. We've been out-rebounded, I want to say, 5 of our 7 games. It's never happened in my career. So we got to work on that. That's the second half. I thought we guarded pretty good. We gave up baskets on offensive rebounds, and that's a problem.
Frank, Chris said that kind of that spurt at the end where he played pretty well, he was just trying to forget everything and enjoy the game. And he said that instruction came from you in the past couple of days of practice. What were those conversations like?
It's just Dave, there's some stuff that obviously I visit with players about that I'm never going to speak about publicly, and he's got to stop worrying about. He's got a burden on his shoulders to lead us back to the Final Four. He's got to worry about what he used to do that made him such an important player to a team that was able to make a run to the Final Four, which was play with unbelievable enthusiasm and relentless and energy. And we need to get him back to that. Some guys are shooters, and when they lose their confidence, the ball doesn't go in. Chris is an energy guy, always has been and always will be. He's a toughness, enthusiasm guy. So when he loses his confidence, it's not his shot that goes away. It's that goes away. And he needs to get back to, which is all I've talked to him about. Stop worrying about me and our team. Don't worry about that stuff. Worry about being you. And once you're you and you start having success, then you can start worrying about everyone else. And Chris is a beautiful kid, man. I've been mad at him this year, and I probably shouldn't. Because he's just too good a kid.
Frank, that sequence at the end of the first half ended on a high note because Mike made the 3, but it seemed like from the beginning, TJ tried to push and you told him to come back, and then he waited forever to go. Is that kind of an example of kind of where things are? You got a freshman point guard there. You guys are kind of doing things on the fly, and you end up getting a line drive 3 at the buzzer. But
because in the timeout, I said I wanted to run. I'm not going to say the play call, but that I wanted to run something, and then they don't score, and it's kind of a dead possession. So now I realize it's under 30, so I want to get the last shot. So I wanted to just keep everything spaced, keep the ball up there. And then I wanted to run the same action, but with a different play on the backside. And we've got play calls when we want to involve our 5-man, it's with the number 5. And he got 1-5 confused for another 5. So the 5 he was trying to run is not the one I called. Does that make sense, what I'm saying? And, and that's and then what happens with TJ, which is the other part with freshmen. So now he gets on an emotional moment, which doesn't allow him to then have success as a player because he's wrapped up on the fact that he made a mistake or that somebody corrected him or whatever it may be. That's where he's got to grow. But he's got courage. I mean, he went 1 for 8. Some people say, oh, that's good, being aggressive. Yeah, I mean, someone's got to shoot, and he makes sure he's a shooter. He can do that. So, what I'm not happy with is a 0 assist. especially the way they were defending, where they were getting after us. You know, he's got to go make some plays for us off the dribble. He had one there at the end, and Chris just couldn't get the shot in the rim. But TJ's going to be all right.
Frank, you started 3 freshmen today with Keyshawn and I guess TJ getting their first starts. Just what went into that decision? How do you feel like they played today?
I just want to keep getting balder. You know, it's important to me that my bald spot keeps growing. Yeah, I'm even losing my eyebrows now. I'm so old. No, I'm not one of them. When it's time to throw in the towel, I'm Matt Figger. Remember him? Yeah, call me Frank Figger. Hassani's playing real free off the ball. I think you're seeing it. We need him to be more consistent, but he's playing real free, not having to be wrapped up with do this, do that, or this play for that guy, and then do I go? If I go, does Frank get mad at me? Some guys can handle that. Some guys, it's not good, and I'm not for everybody either. I'm really hard on point guards. I always have been, always will be. But being off the ball, he's playing freer. So now, as I look at our team, when Justin Minaya goes down Sunday and Keyshawn had not practiced all week, I didn't feel comfortable because Wofford has so much firepower on the perimeter. I didn't feel comfortable starting Keyshawn, you know, because of the way Wofford plays. They play in structure, screening, cutting, all kinds of stuff. Without practice, it wasn't going to be fair to him. However, now that hopefully we can keep the same group of guys in practice, if I start Sonny, if you look down the bench, everyone else is here for the first time in their life. I like the fact that I've got a guy coming off the bench that if the game doesn't start the right way or something's not going the way it needs to go, you can come in with somebody that's been through this, that understands. It's not going to be emotionally attached to the moment. And I think that gives our team balance. You know, starting the 3 freshmen, I gave it a go today. Am I going to do that again next week? I don't know yet. I don't know. That's on them. They got to, like AJ, you know, I'm really happy with that kid because he was very passive in practices leading into Wofford. And he's such a good kid, and he's a freshman. I didn't want to jump him, you know, but I had to remind him. I said, yo, I don't know if you were aware of this. You're a leading scorer, leading assist. Come on, man. And then, obviously, he didn't play last game out. And then yesterday in practice, once again, he was still being passive. And I got after him a little bit. And for the last 30 minutes of practice, he was the best player on the court. And then, obviously, you saw the way he played today, how aggressive he was offensively, defensively, how engaged he was. He responded. You know, I see that. I get excited about that. But, you know, freshmen are freshmen. You're going to have those moments at the end of the first half where I just want to jump over the scores table and hide. You know, but they're fun to be around.
Frank, following up on AJ, he obviously had a great game tonight, and it seemed like he took charge at critical moments. He got to the foul line. He made some big shots. What is it about him that allows him to have that take charge mentality for such a young guy?
Well, first of all, we got in the open court, something we can never do against Wofford. We got in the open court. We ran. Freshmen feel a lot more comfortable when you're in the open court and they're on attack mode. It's how they play for the most part in summer AAU basketball. So they're very comfortable there. The problem is in college you get trapped in games where they make you defend and it wears you down. See, Coastal plays more spread you out, drive you. That's kind of what they do. Okay, they don't run as many screens and all as Wofford. So AJ didn't get wore down having to defend all these cuts and all these screens and all that. And we were able to defend a little better in the second half. We didn't rebound it worth it, you know what, but we defended better. So we were able to come up with, when we did rebound it or came up with some steals in the open court. And then he was on go. He was comfortable and he was on attack mode. I sensed that early, so I slid him to the point a lot more so he can continue to be aggressive. But he's got to learn that he's got that in him. He's got to learn how to just go do it every single time. But that's a freshman for you, you know.
Frank, kind of off topic, but with football ending tomorrow, will Evan be able to come back for a couple of games before going back to bowl, or does he wait throughout the whole bowl situation?
Yeah, Will and I, we spoke a month ago or so. I mean, we've spoken since, but about Evan about a month ago. I'm not going to – I don't know about you, Dave. If you want to ask Will that question right now, I'll let you ask him. I'm not asking him about one of his guys playing basketball right now. We'll see. You know, we'll see. I assume that's going to happen, but like I did with Bruce and I've done with Evan, every year when their season ends, we have that conversation.
What is the counter, or even is there a counter to when a team is trying to, especially off a miss, push the envelope and get a shot up before you set your defense, or is that even something that you're content with, or how do you adjust to that?
Yeah, that's experience. Like know when to go and not to go. Whether you're in set offense or like there was a play, AJ had come down in the open court, I want to say 3 straight times and attacked and got fouled. And I ran a set. Now the play's dead. There's a dead ball. So we got to walk it up. I ran a set where I wanted to get a high-low play for Chris Silva. Well, AJ was such on go that he decided, oh, I got an angle. I'm going. Well, you got the screener, the cutter, and 3 other defenders standing in the paint waiting on him, and he dribbled the ball straight out of bounds. You know, that's experience. That's a young kid that, you know, if I had to do it over again, knowing that I got such a young buck, I probably call something different to space things out so he can keep going. I felt that Chris had just done something. I don't know if it was his offensive rebound dunk or what it was. I don't remember what it was. He had just done something, so we were trying to go at him. And I didn't help him too much either. They started trapping ball screens, and I kept ball screening, and I see, sometimes you think that your guys are all Sindarius or whatever, you know, and they're not. We needed to slip ball screens. That way, as they were trying to hard hedge and trap, now you create separation. We eventually did it, and that's how Felipe got all them threes. You know, he's got to make some of those. But, you know, it's all good. It's all good.
Coach, how important has Hassani's maturity and vocal leadership into this team, especially with all the young freshmen?
Well, I can tell you this. He got challenged in practice yesterday, too, just like AJ. In years past, he'd hang his head and probably, I don't know, say pout, but just would get just too deep into himself and wouldn't allow himself to succeed the next day. So, you know, because he got challenged too yesterday. He wasn't as good and as prepared as he needed to be yesterday. I'm a big believer. You learn about your team after a loss. You know, and I don't like losing. If anyone says losing's good, no, it's not good. There's nothing good comes from a loss. You don't learn more from a loss than you do from a win. As a player, I'm talking about. As a coach, when your team loses and you got so many new guys, you learn how that team is going to respond to adversity. I wasn't real happy with how we responded to the Wofford loss. We acted like young kids. We kind of hung our heads and weren't, you know, as geeked up as we needed to be. I actually spoke to them about the best basketball practice that I've ever been a part of as a coach was at K-State in 2010. We lost to Ole Miss in Puerto Rico, and our best 2 players, Denny Clement and Jacob Pullen, are our starting guards. And so we lose in the semifinal game. We don't play on, I think it was Saturday. The championship game is on Sunday. And we go play like at a open air, go practice. It's an open air kind of just court with a roof on it. And I hadn't even planned practice. And I wanted to see how our guys acted. And I walked on the court. And I said, all right, let's get this here. And Denny Clemente said, I got Jacob. So he wanted to match up against Jacob. So our best 2 players ended up matched up against each other. Then there's one guy on our team who's real talented who he had his good and bad days. Well, he kind of showed up with, like, my feelings are hurt, and then he pitched the ball off his head and said, we're not having his here today, man. I never said a word. We went for about an hour and 45 minutes. It was the most competitive, most disciplined practice I've ever been a part of, and I did not, other than just say, I run this play, I never said anything else. And it was all because our best two players were just not happy with the fact that we didn't play well and that we lost. So they ran that practice that day and made everyone follow. We're not there yet. We don't even have an idea how to do that right now. But that's where we got to get. And it's my job and my staff's job to help teach all these young guys on how to handle the good, the bad, everything that comes with a season. Thank you.